Welcome back to another podcast. This time it's not only about real estate, but we're going to talk about business, moving to Barcelona, starting here from scratch. And I'm here with my good friend Lesia. Welcome. Good to have you here. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes. And we're going to talk about starting here from scratch, moving to Barcelona. Lesia is a young entrepreneur and she's the founder of BizMash. And we're very excited to have this podcast together, our first podcast.
First podcast for me personally.
Wow, already? Okay.
Yes.
And we know each other for now, I think, almost 2 years. We're heading towards 2 years anniversary. So it's time for a podcast together. And I think let's introduce each other first before we start. So for the people that know you, can you do a quick introduction? And I'll also do a quick introduction after.
Yeah, sure. My name is Lesia, I'm Ukrainian, and I moved to Barcelona 2 years ago. Almost my whole life I was doing personal branding, but here in Barcelona I built my community/platform called BizMash. It's a Ukrainian word, means no limits. And this is a platform for young founders and entrepreneurs who want to come together, who want to grow their business, create content, and just keep thriving together.
And you moved here. When did you move to Barcelona?
I moved here almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, for the people that don't know me, my name is Olaf. I'm a real estate entrepreneur and I moved here 2.5 years ago to Barcelona. I help foreign investors to buy real estate. We also have a property management company and we do fix and flip. Let's get started into the podcast. So I want to hear your story. How did you move to Barcelona? Why did you choose Barcelona? And
I think
how it all started, just from scratch.
It's actually a very, very spontaneous thing, and I think our stories are very different because you kind of had an intention to go there.
Yeah.
I was just living the whole time in Ukraine, traveling a bit around the world, but not that much, to be honest. And then at some moment, I just wanted to escape for 1 month to try some different culture. And I was actually planning to go to Dubai because that's where I worked by then in the marketing. And then last moment, everything changes and this trip cancelled. And I already have an intention to go somewhere. So literally, I just opened them up. And I chose Spain there because I've been in Italy before. I wanted to go travel somewhere there. And I chose Barcelona just because I saw some of my friends posting stories from their Instagram. And that was basically it.
You're like, oh, Barcelona, that looks nice.
Yes. I remember it was from some restaurant or something. And I was like, yeah, it looks really cute. So I came here. I didn't book apartment. I didn't know any people there. I just moved there and it was easy for me in terms of documents because they were supporting Ukrainians and just giving residency to all Ukrainians that were moving there. I came here with intention to stay just for months. Mm-hmm. Then I found my first apartment, which was minimum 3 months. I decided to stay there till summer, and then already when I was there till summer, I decided to start living here in Barcelona.
Wow. And to give a background, you're from Ukraine and then the war was already happening, or there was this prior the...
When I was moving here, it was already almost a year of the full-scale invasion, and almost on anniversary, I moved here.
Yeah, because the region where you're from was not really safe.
Yes, that as well. But I would say mostly for me it was because I moved from a big city to a very small one. And, I was just trying to do some things, some events there, trying to find friends, but that was never enough for me. I wanted to try different things, to meet people, to have opportunities, but it wasn't really possible there. And I feel like it was kind of killing me inside.
And you moved on a very young age.
Right now I'm 21 years old. Yeah, when I moved here, I was actually 19.
Wow. So you moved, you didn't know anyone. What did your parents say?
They said no.
Oh, they didn't know?
No, actually, I didn't tell it to anyone because I was not moving to Barcelona. I was going there to travel. And then honestly,
And you kind of stuck.
Yeah. The first day I moved here, I think I already knew that I'm going to be there, but I was just no, they're just for months. I'm not going to be there. But I'm also curious about your story because I think it was, way more intentional. You were planning to build business there. So how did this happen for you?
So at the moment, I was 2.5 years ago or a bit before, I was working kind of corporate job, small medium-sized company, doing sales for debt collecting, credit. And I liked doing the job, driving the company car, going to appointments, business class, business lunch, at my own apartment in Amsterdam. And basically everything was there, everything got paid for. So I had good salary, but it was not super. I liked it, but it was not like, oh, this is my passion. And I was always interested in real estate. So basically, when I was maybe 18, 19, my brother-in-law, he gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that then that once I read the book, I was like, okay, I want to buy real estate. And then at 25, I bought my first apartment in Amsterdam.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so and I did some like house hacking, rented out the room, renovated the place. And then I was like, hey, I like it so much, listening to podcasts, reading basically every real estate book that's out there. And I was like, I want to go more into real estate because I saw that had my interest, and I saw, okay, I can build something on here. And then I was thinking, okay, there's two ways what I can do. One is I buy like maybe once in 5, 6, 7 years, like a property just on the side of my job, right? I just do climb the corporate ladder, because I was looking for other corporate companies like fintech companies, just climb the corporate sales ladder. That was one way I was thinking. Or the second one was, okay, just do something with real estate because that's what you really like. And then I was like looking around, okay, thinking, should I do this in Netherlands? Should I go abroad? Because before I already had lived in China, so I already had this urge of, okay, I want to go. Like Netherlands is too small. Once you live out of your home country and of your hometown, home city, then you feel like, okay, the world is bigger. And then basically I was looking at options, and I found Netherlands was not really what I wanted. Maybe mostly in terms of real estate, because I wanted to have like the American style real estate agent, like get the higher commission, and if you don't sell, you get no money. But in the Netherlands, it's a bit more. Most people work in a salary position instead of like a freelancer commission role, and the commissions are also lower. So then I was looking, where can I do this? Spain. Also, I was looking at Dubai, United States. But since I'm young, always we travel to Spain. I was already looking at buying real estate here, and I just looked, okay, to my current network, what I have from all the business clubs, from all the people I know, where do you see more demand for buying real estate? And I saw like a very high demand from Dutch people buying real estate in Spain. I noticed the level of real estate agents was extremely low, so not very focused on like helping investors to buy properties here, more just to sell the property. And therefore I said, okay, I see opportunity if I go to Spain to kind of be the bridge between Dutch investors and the Spanish real estate.
So I see that your approach was like, very kind of rational. So you saw the opportunity, you went to Barcelona. Was it also something there that actually would like call you to Barcelona? Or it was purely about the work and the opportunities here?
I mean, of course, I've been to the city before. I like the city. That's why, because I could choose any other place in Spain. I could have gone to. I was also looking at Marbella or like other cities, but for me, because I already knew Barcelona and I know Costa Brava because I always went there, and my brother lives there. So it was like, okay, if I go to Barcelona, at least I don't have to figure out of course things are still new, but I knew already the Costa Brava, and that will be a bit easier than like just go to Marbella and I don't know anything about the whole place. Will be faster to learn here, and of course I like the city. So, but actually I was doing a coaching session. I was like putting and we put just on the board, okay, pros and cons.
Okay.
Yeah, and climb the corporate ladder or go do real estate in Spain. And then eventually, like, I choose Spain, came out as winner. And then I quit my job and moved to Barcelona. Didn't know anyone here, and got a Harry Potter room. And was super hot in August. So then
you moved here in August?
Yeah, I moved in August.
The craziest months.
And I had like a small interior Harry Potter like,
with no windows.
No window.
It was my first room as well.
Yeah. So that was the start. That was 2.5 years ago.
I think like our stories are very familiar in the sense that we are both coming, let's say, like to a new place. For me, I never been to Spain even before. We
Yeah.
both don't kind of like, I'm curious, like, how did it feel for you, like, especially, you know, in the first months, first half a year, being here, like literally starting not just business, but your whole life from the scratch?
Yeah, good question. So I think honestly the first 6 to 9 months were very difficult. I was like had moments like, why the hell did I do this? Because yeah, of course, in any business, once you start it, it takes time to generate cash flow, to generate revenue, and then especially with real estate, because the timeline from finding a client, searching property, and closing the actual deal is in general all very is long. The whole sales process is for real estate longer. So yeah, it took me some time to like maybe more than 6 months to just got my first deal to make some actual money. So first of all, financially it's shit because you're used to like money just coming into your bank account all the time, and that gives just uncertainty.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. Then second was living. I mean, I don't want to sound like that I'm like complaining, but this was just how I felt at the moment. Like living condition. Yeah, I had my own place in Amsterdam. Had like car. Everything was there. I went to like a small room, sharing with other people, the house. So for me it was like I downgraded my lifestyle. Right. I was here and then I went here regarding my lifestyle. And
I'm curious if you would compare your lifestyle right now back in Amsterdam and at this point in Barcelona.
oh, now it's better.
Now it's better. So it was worth it.
Yeah, now it's definitely better. But yeah, and then also I had my ex-girlfriend. We were like we got into a long distance relationship, so that kind of hold me with 1 foot in Amsterdam because I was traveling quite back and forward to there. And that's why it took longer, because every time I went there, I was like, I have all my friends here, my girlfriend is here, so that made me sometimes doubt, like, hey, should I just give up and move back and get my job, and because I have everything back home.
I think it's a very interesting point. Like, so you had good job there, you had friends, your girlfriend there, like, and you had none of that in Barcelona. So what actually like kept you going this 6 months before the first deal? And I believe like it's not like everything changed after the first deal.
Yeah, I mean, I just had the long-term vision. It's like, okay, first of all, I was like, I don't want to give up, and then I read some other books that like these people through similar stories, and I think it makes sense that you need to go down first to go up, and also actually have the long vision. And I knew the concept would work. It was just a matter of time. And I know also, okay, if you make deals, you can make good money. It's not like, okay, that if you like sell like multiple houses, you still make little money, you know. So I knew I saw the opportunity that was there. And I saw also leads were coming in. So I was like, okay, there was enough points that gave me confirmation. Okay, because if, for example, after 6-9 months, I had 0 leads coming in, nobody that's interested. I'm only losing money every month, and then I could have been maybe, okay, this is not working. There's nobody's interested in what I'm trying to offer. But that was not the case. There were people that were interested. I had clients that were coming up, so I could see signs of, okay, it's just a matter of like keep on going.
I love it, and I think it's like also a big misconception of from people of the overnight success.
Yeah.
Because like they kind of see like even through social media where people are right now, but they have no idea about actually like all the struggles and like all the efforts they put into to get there.
Yeah.
I'm also curious, like, because I believe there is quite a lot of people who are moving to Barcelona, like, or the other big city with expats, willing to start their new business, like, build a project. And what did you say, like, you know, what should be the steps to start, like, your new thing from the scratch in the new city when you don't know anyone?
In terms of business or like...
In terms of business, let's talk about business now.
So... I think before you even go, like, you should have a plan, because before I went, I already had a plan. Like in my opinion, like if you come,
I didn't have any plan. I used to.
Yeah, but if you want to, like, if you don't, I mean, you can do freewheeling it, but it will be better if you have a plan, because I prepared for this move. Maybe like I told my job like, hey, I'm gonna quit, but in six months. So in that time, I already started like making my website, making my logo, like telling everyone like, hey, I'm gonna move to Spain. I'm gonna do this. I already
preparing base for it.
Yeah, already preparing it. I already did like pre-marketing before my business even existed, and I would say. And still, of course, when I moved, that was the real jump. Then everything started to be official. But I already kind of warmed up. People start posting on LinkedIn, started reaching out. Didn't start like, the moment I moved, then I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do now? My plan. I already had a plan, and then I kind of executed the plan. So start posting on LinkedIn like a lot, like just post a lot of real estate content. Start posting on Instagram. So I would recommend, if you want to make that jump, if you want to move to other countries, already start preparing and try to network in that country, and maybe already visit for a few times, build your network before the actual
No,
move.
that's true.
Yeah.
Moving to Barcelona like helped me to understand that actually connections is like prior over everything, because like, you know, even the most unexpected people in the end of the day, they're going to give you the opportunities, the best opportunities. So networking, connections is like one of the biggest priorities. Like, let's talk about like for every person who moves to a new city, who moves to a new country, how to find those connections. And here it should be not just a business connection, but even friends. How would you find good connections in a new country?
Good connections, I think you should find people that have similar interests as you. And if you want to find, like for me, when I came here, I went to a lot of these meetup events, and then, like sometimes you meet nice people, sometimes you meet like people you have no interest with, but you have to go and a lot and put yourself out there, because if you just stay at home and wait for people to come to you, nothing's gonna happen. So I would say the first year, just do as much social activities as you can do, and that's actually how we met. Also,
very randomly through the friend. Actually, when I first met you, I was thinking like, oh, like he could be my client potentially, but then I'm like, okay, we better be friends after that. But honestly, for me, it's like also the first year, just going to all kind of events, like seeing all kind of people. But also I think the mistake I made in the first year is that, again, I was spending too much time on different events, like trying to, like, you know, you come to the event with 100 people and you don't know what kind of people are actually going to be valuable connection for you. So I think the communities, like every city have right now, the community, entrepreneurs, creators, artists, women, you know, whatever you like want to find, more curate connections. So I would say like definitely more focused, knowing that we'll meet, they're gonna be like right on the point. So I would say definitely, like if you're planning, guys, like on moving to different country, try to find not just events but communities here with a specific people, and that's gonna like upgrade the whole experience totally.
But that's one of your, I think, like that's your business.
That's well not to say.
That's a very good sales pitch. So I'm also curious, like, because you were these events, and how did you came up with this business plan to start Bizmash?
I think that actually Bizmash came through so many phases, and Bizmash was evolving the same way as I was evolving myself. Our stories are very different because you had the proper plan, and you like, I think I kind of keep following the plan as well. And for me, it was, I had when I moved to Barcelona, I was doing marketing still for that company in Dubai, and then even back in Ukraine, I just like kind of started like doing this side hustle thing. I called it Bizmash, and basically doing meetup for like creators and entrepreneurs in that small city, which was working good. But back then I had no idea what is community, like how to do proper events, how to actually, and the idea that it could be actually a business model for someone. So I moved here, and I just like by several connections, actually I'm a random girl on the breakfast, I just invited her to join me, and then she told me about one community, I went there, then they told me about the other community, and I started seeing people, And for me, the most interesting thing was actually having the inspiration from people. So I met so many cool, interesting people who would just doing some crazy stuff. Like someone would do a podcast, someone would be like doing some healthy drinks business, you know, and someone would do real estate. And it just was so interesting. But, you know, to all of those events, I still, and seeing a really good communities, I still could not find something, you know, very curated, making sure that, tangible as well. That's a big thing. And for me, you know, if you're given, like, if you're doing events like an expert panel or whatever, you're gonna give the value to people. You're gonna give tangible things to people so they live and they can apply it right away, right? I love seeing the results of those events, of those connections,
and
also
follow up. Because you see, you go to an event and like, hey, and bye. And that's
and actually building connections, right? Because
and like see each other again,
and that's like how I started.
It's not a one-time thing.
That's how I started coming up with the idea of having the community, because, and then it was just first the WhatsApp group, and then I think the life-changing moment was for me last year when I hosted this event, expert panel from different community builders. And I remember I was a moderator there. And then someone sent me the picture like of me, you know, like keeping my hand in the heart with closed eyes when I was speaking about communities. And that thing kind of hit me. I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I really care about. That's what I really believe in. And that's how I started building the things. So I didn't have a plan. I was just exploring myself, finding opportunities, and like seeing what is going to be direction. And then I just think, okay, that's going to work probably. Building already the proper community, starting curating it as well, and growing after that.
Yeah, I think it also the fact that we came also with different an experience, because if you would do it again, you would do it now in a different way.
I would do it different, 100%.
That's the thing. And when because I also made the move when I was like 21 years old.
You went to China.
Yeah. So, but then because you don't have that experience, and it's just like you're kind of free flowing it, right? Like, and then
100%.
And then you're like looking for opportunities, and then I tried many things. A lot of things didn't work out, and I think but because you try those things and now you did this, next time you're gonna move to another country, you're gonna do it probably completely different than how you did it the first time.
100%. I think like I could not say lucky, but maybe in some kind of way lucky, because I was just meeting the right people, the right opportunities as well. And I think what was crucial for me is that I was just doing like both things. You know, like other people like, oh, like how is it possible to start a thing from the scratch, like when you don't know anyone? I would do that. Just like trying out things, not being afraid to have mistakes.
I don't think you were lucky. You put yourself out there from the beginning. You asked people for advice that were like already further ahead.
Oh, that's actually a big one.
Yeah, and you implemented that. So, and you just did it, you know, instead of like, oh, should I do this? Should I? I'm scared. Like, no, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. So
no, that's true. Just being it was scary.
Of course.
It was scary, and a lot of people like who see me on social media, they would say that like, oh, like she's like so confident in what she's doing. But I am confident right now. But before that, it was so many fears, and there are still fears. I think also it was the same for you. Like you were doing that, you were believing, you were having a plan, but there still was some uncertainties, some challenges.
I think that's always if you. Maybe not if you're like 40 years old and you have decades of companies you're building up, but there's always this kind of little bit of fear and like, oh, is this gonna work out, and risk that you're taking, and but that's part of being an entrepreneur.
Someone said me this phrase which like really hit me. It was something like confidence comes from moving. And I think that's from moving, from the execution, from testing things. And I think it's a big part, because there are so many people who like bring up certain idea for a long time, like trying to make it perfect, trying like to rethink it so many times, and then end up not building anything. But actually just like go start to do things. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be something. And then from doing, you will understand what works and what doesn't work.
Definitely. Yeah, you hear a lot of people, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, okay, what's holding your back? What's holding this? And like, oh yeah, like, and like, okay, what kind of plan did you wrote down? Like, and like, so I think that's with a lot of that have this fear, or just they have this thing they want to do, but they don't put in the actual action.
100%.
But yeah, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur or like can be an entrepreneur. You know, it's not because some people just want a regular job as well. That's not, and that's completely fine. But
don't judge anyone. Not demonizing corporate.
yeah. Moving forward, yeah. So you came up with the idea plan to start BizMash, and how was it to grow, to do your first events, and like can you tell us more like the stages you went through, because you're like have a membership, and it's a real community, so not just organizing events. And
so I started with doing the events, which was like very simple. I was just doing events with like 3-4 speakers, but all of the time I was trying to make it like very, very tangible, very, very valuable to people actually with something. People who were coming there, I really tried them, to empower, to start the new connections. So now so those events are different from anything else that's happening in Barcelona. So big part, I think, I did my first event in the...
I was there.
Yeah, he was there actually. We didn't even talk back there. I just tagged you on Instagram, and the first one was so funny because it was like we're up in the mountains, and I think you left like the funicular somewhere in the between. And you were like going out.
I went in
sweating.
between. I was like, wow.
But I think that was actually the start of our friendship back then. So I was doing different events, and I didn't plan to build the membership back then. So I was just experimenting. Different formats, different people, like different audience, and seeing like what's working for people, what do they like, what do they need. At the same time, also what do I enjoy doing, and trying to test out things. And then at some moment when I decided, okay, that's working out, I created also a chat of people so they could kind of be together, because before I would need to promote any new event from the scratch, and it was really complicated. But then I was like, okay, let's have a community. Let's have the community, and people start also connecting in there. And then when the idea came to build the membership, it probably took around 3 months to do that. And the first phase, which was really important, I was speaking to a lot of members in the community, asking them what do you care about, what do you need, really understanding, to create experience not based from what they believe in, not only based on my hypothesis, but based on what people want. Building this membership.
So get this feedback from the target audience.
And create what people really need. So that was the big part. Building the membership back then also, I started having a small team. Right now we have 3 people there. And just executing. It was very scary when we launched. We did the launch party, and then in the night, I remember I had 3 members before 3 or 4 members. 1 day, 2 days before the official launch, I was like, oh fuck, that's not working. And then I did the launch party, and it's start coming a bunch of new people right after that.
I was pre-launch, right?
Yeah, it was a pre-launch.
Lifelong member, yes.
Well, so now I didn't have a chance to actually stop doing that. And then again, the first months, I was still testing, right? Because I had the formats, but I was still testing and seeing what's working for people. And only right now, at this point when I know what's working for people, people are coming to the experiences, people are joining the academy, people are actually connecting together. And right now I'm on the point when it's a time to expand and to attract more new members. Because
now you have the whole structure.
The whole
skill.
I wasn't doing much marketing back then. People were coming from my personal brands, people were coming just from social media as well, but I wasn't doing any advertisement just because I was not I wanted to build first.
First have the product and very good.
The good product.
And then scale. Instead of you scale and then people
come and then they leave. Which would not make any sense.
Yeah. Cool. And moving forward, so how do you see future of BizMash?
So for me, it's also very. For me, it's not just money making machine business or whatever. For me, it's well, this one as well. But for me, it's also very, very connected with my mission. Just because all the people who are members of the BizMash, they're building product I know will be impactful, right? They help someone, they will change someone's lives. And basically what we do, we're trying to bring more attention to those projects, help people to actually grow there, help them to bring this attention, and also be confident in what they're doing, right? So recently I niched down, which was a good thing, specifically on young founders and creators, because I think that it's very, very specific niche. and like founder-led and personal brand-led projects, because again it's very, very specific. And right now, I just wanna have it growing. I just wanna have more people, connecting them more, and like actually seeing the real results from there. This year we're also starting the YouTube channel when we're gonna be interviewing young founders as well, who already achieved like big success with their project, to empower people. And then we just wanna kind of like build. It's not just as a community where you would have like X, Y, that benefits from you, but like as kind of the lifestyle and philosophy. Because for me, the word Bazmash itself, it means no limits. It's very powerful as well. So I want to people like really embrace this philosophy of Bazmash and living the life of no limits, building a business of no limits, and just like going for things, going all in, and like creating, like showing people that whatever they want to build is possible, and working from there. I think this year we're gonna have a lot of exciting changes in terms of like how it's gonna look, but I'm not sharing it yet. There is a lot of process behind, but Bazmash that it looks right now, I think in the end of the year are gonna be very different as well.
Okay, I'm curious as one of the first members to see how this evolved. I mean, it's cool because I've seen your whole journey, so. Like starting from the first event to now launching the membership, and I will keep on watching
and, really
helping and participating.
I remember we even had this mastermind together when you were like helping me like to come up with a business plan. So this help was really, really valuable. So and I'm curious, what is your vision with your company?
So for now, definitely want to scale the real estate company here in Spain. Mainly just keep in Barcelona, get more properties, grow our property management company, get more clients and get more staff. So we're looking also to get a new office. So growing here the business, but then also I have my eyes set on United States, where I want to first buy property myself and then kind of do the same trick what I did here. So basically grow my network in US, and then step by step first buy myself properties and show, okay, this is the business model and this is proof of concept, and then help my current clients to buy properties over there. So that's the next, and then also real estate education, that's also on the horizon, where I want to coach people how to invest in real estate. This is not something I will do probably this year. That's a long-term project, and that's why I'm also posting on social media. Like I like to already share knowledge, but then I want to give like full course where we can help you to buy in 90 days your first investment property, and teach you basically everything what I know from all these years in the field, and give that in a course.
So you're focusing on the course mostly on people who want to invest in real estate, or people who want to become real estate entrepreneurs?
Both.
Okay.
So basically, I can show you how to start this business from scratch. I can teach you how to buy room rental properties. So it depends a bit on what the client wants. You're gonna have like 2 or 3 sub courses within in the course. But the target people are people that they don't know anything about real estate and they want to start house flipping. They want to buy rental properties, and we just teach them how we do it, and then they don't need us to do it all the time, right? So they can do everything themselves. Or people that want to have a career change and want to be a property management company or a real estate company, and then we can teach you everything, how we structure our business, how we find the properties. Basically, all our experience in all these years we give in the course.
I love it. And I think what is very cool about your business model is that you're not just thinking about like the next step next year, but you're thinking long term. I think that's very important. Like, whatever you're building, you think, okay, so preparing the base from that is going to serve you like in 2 years, in 5 years, like as a YouTube channel. I saw your stories recently and you were saying that the YouTube is going to pay out only like in 5 years, but then in 5 years, Like some people would just start thinking about building YouTube
Yeah.
and you already have it. So that's very smart as well.
Yeah, so that's the YouTube channel is correlated to the course, for example, right? Because I mean, yes, I can try to get clients that from YouTube that want to buy Spanish real estate, but let's say if I want to in 3 years want to sell real estate education and I have like 5 till 10,000 subscribers that follow me all the time and like, hey, how to invest in real estate will be way
To slow down.
once I launch the course, it's like should be sold out immediately.
Yes, 100%.
The first 50 spots, let's say. So that's the vision I have.
But so I think we had enough of business.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here. So
Let's move on to.
let's move on the social life in Barcelona,
Yeah.
because we already discussed how we were actually starting our business, building from
Yeah.
scratch here. But I think what is the most important thing also to grow business and to grow in different lives, have the right people around you.
Yeah, and get friends.
Get friends here. That's for you, finding friends here in Barcelona.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, because I still had my relationship back in Amsterdam, so I was going a lot. I would say at least once a month or once in 2 months. Like I was going back to Amsterdam, and that was kind of that made it a bit. I met people here and made friends, but of course it's harder to develop the relationship if you let's say if I'm weeks away or
Yeah.
and then yeah, so I just went to a lot of like events and met people, and then you start developing relationships. And in the beginning, you can't also be that picky, right? Because you meet people, but yeah, it's hard to find people that you're like, oh, that person is going to be best friend.
100%.
And I think you kind of stick to expat communities because for local people, they have less motivation to mingle with foreigners because they already have their friend circle from when they grow up. So yeah, I was just going to events and meet a lot of people, and I would say after the breakup, it sounds very bad.
It went better.
Sounds financially went way better, and then because I didn't have to go back, and also I was like selling the apartment, so I had to go. Not only I didn't go only for her, but also had to go. There were some issues with that apartment, so I went there quite a lot. And then I kind of summer started in Barcelona. I had money. I was single, so yeah. Then I kind of settled more down here. But of course, nothing against her from the ex relationship. That was all good. It was just more. I was going more because if you're with 1 feet back home, it's harder to, settle down in your new place.
And go there, yeah. Totally. And I think also like one interesting part about Barcelona is that it's actually might be quite hard to build like good connections with people, because what's happening here, people are just like coming for a week or for a month or for the year, and there's like a huge
like few months and then go.
Yeah, and the huge culture of the small talks.
Yeah.
You come to Thailand, you have the small talks. So, and honestly, when you just come to Barcelona, for me personally, it was very exciting, just to meet a bunch of new people. But I just realized when actually something happened, or when actually now I need some support, there is no one I can go to.
That's hard to make. I mean, it's easy to make a lot of friends, let's say, meet people, but it's hard to make close friends.
100%.
That you're like, oh, I have this problem, can you help me? Like, how many people will show up?
Yeah, that's totally. And I think like that's why for me, maybe like after 8 months here, like just meeting other people, and I was lucky to meet some good friends, like good people as well. I started like, investing time not on going to another event and meeting another 10 people, but like rather nurturing connections with people I had before, and started building this close circle. And at the moment right now, I just realized they have maybe like 5-6 close friends here in Barcelona, and it feels like way better than just like having a bunch of people out there.
Yeah.
So what are your friend? What is important for you?
In general, like sense of humor is important. If they're boring, then
no boring people.
Yeah. So same values. I look for people that have the same values, and preferably also. I mean, not everyone can have the same mindset as you. Like having this entrepreneur like business mindset. So I do like the people that have the same mindset or lifestyle, but sometimes I'm also if we connect, it doesn't need to be that these people have the same lifestyle or mindset as me. So it's just, oh, do we have this connection? Can we have fun? Can we talk about nice topics? I think each friendship can have their own purpose, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That actually was a big switch for me, because as I was like building my first business, being like very excited about that, like, and honestly, like 90% of my life it was my business. I was like living, I was breathing, I was thinking about that, and that's why when I would like meet a new person, I would like really look at someone who would build some other project, and I would like put a person and a project as something like equal. And then like just recently I realized that actually seeing the person, not what they're building, is way more important. There is so many other areas in your life that are equally important to the business. But yeah, actually, like, you know, the thing about, I think, all entrepreneurs, that we are so obsessed that sometimes like we just forgot about other important parts of our lives.
I agree. Yeah, so those are the things I look for, and it's just like a good time together and building this connection. And for me, if you're my friend, if you're my close friend, I will be there for you. You know, like
showing up. You're the kind of person who would show up. That's 100%.
But only for close people.
Not for everyone.
Yeah. If you're not close, then I can. But to strangers, I would say I'm more cold. Could be cold. Yeah. So like for example, people on the street, like I would be more cold.
I love strangers.
You're more an open book, I would say.
Open to strangers. But I think that for me the difference between someone like acquaintance, right, and the friend is actually that with acquaintance I'm just always gonna be like happy, fun, but with a friend I could be just like real and like honest and vulnerable as well. So for me, like that's the biggest level of trust, when I can actually like show up and express what I really feel.
Not always show the happy moments.
The happy moments.
Yeah, like also share your problems.
Yeah.
Because if you ask people, how are you doing? Everyone's like, good, amazing.
Perfect. And you?
But if you answer like, I'm terrible, like then you like people
Yeah,
like they don't know, but they don't know how to respond. You know, if you say no, I'm not good.
Totally.
And for friendship, how about dating?
I know very common this moment. So first of all, I think like worth mentioning that for me, coming from Ukraine with a very like different values and culture to Spain.
Dating style.
Yeah, I was shocked. I remember, so the way how I started like for the first connection, because I didn't know about like meetups, Eventbrite and all this stuff. The first day I came here, the second day, I uploaded like Tinder, or I didn't even know about Bumble back then because no one was using that. And I uploaded Tinder and I just went on a date.
Oh, that's the worst app.
Oh yes, I know. And I went actually on this date, then become my client.
Oh.
I don't do it anymore.
Pro tip, lead generation.
Lead generation. Tinder, yeah.
Actually, on a YouTube channel.
that works really good.
Yeah.
Basically, I just went to there with this Argentinian guy, and you know, I was going also like on a date from the dating apps back in Ukraine. And then what I remember, our first date ever, we were going to some bar, and he started like, I know, like being like very fashionable, almost kissing me on the like, after 30 minutes of like us being together, and I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Like it was just so uncommon for me. So I was like, how is it happening there? Because for me, like if you kiss someone, especially someone, it's like it means that we are building something together. So that was like the first weird thing, and then and then people here also have a difference between dating and having the relationship with someone else. Because I think that back in Ukraine, like you would just like try to connect, you would probably go on a few dates, like with an idea that you want to be exclusive, and then like 1 month after, like even less, you might agree to a relationship, and then already in a relationship you decide like if you're gonna be together or no. And here the whole thing about not being exclusive, that was how was is it from the Netherlands, or
I think it's kind of the same. Yeah, so I was used to it.
It's a clear expectation here in Barcelona.
No, but I was doing long distance, and I mean, we rolled in long distance, so we're not like official. We're like kind of like unofficial for a long time, and then we made it official. So we got into long distance, and then after that, yeah. So we were long distance. I think like at least more than a year, and yeah. Then after that, then I was single in Barcelona. So then I start experienced dating life.
100%. I think that Barcelona is definitely like the place for single people.
Yeah. When I broke up, then like, I don't want any relationship for a while because I just came out.
Yeah.
Like, so at least for the first year, I was like, okay, I don't want, or like minimum 6-9 months. I just want to be casual.
Yeah, and explore things.
Yeah.
I understand that because for me, I would say my first year in Barcelona, it was also the same thing. Also because like in Barcelona, I was re-exploring myself in all different ways, like understanding who I am, what I want to do in my life, and the same thing, what is important for me in a relationship. Because what's happening alone in Ukraine, that people are getting into a relationship in a very early age, and by that I mean like 17, 18, and they're being together with a person like for 5-6 years and even more, and then they're getting married like in early age.
More
like,
traditional.
Yeah, 22 years, 23, like you're already like normally getting married in Ukraine, and that's wild. And that's why I see that those people, first of all, they're like actually go in a relationship and then often like end up not being happy there because
they're stuck or they have no
they're
life
stuck.
experience.
They have no life experience. That's true.
They don't know, you know. They if you only been with one person. I mean, of course, for some people it can work, but in general,
it can work. But first of all, I think understand what do you really care about, like how it could be, what are the formats, what is important for you, what are the red flags.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I started having my serious relation just right now, and I'm just super happy about that because the other part of my life was really exploring things, and right now like I'm very clear about what is important for me, what would I set for, what I would not work for me. So I think that's a big part of experience.
I think, but at the same time, it's easier when you're younger to have this like love feeling to go all in, because when older then you start to be more picky. Also, I feel.
I am a picky.
But I was always picky, but now you just feel like, I don't know, just even more picky.
What do you mean by picky? Like what
I just if I feel something is not correct, then I just then kind of like lose interest faster.
I think that's important because also kind of like I think in a young age you are confusing that like real thing with just some like passion or obsession, or you know whatever the spark maybe, and then you believe that it's like something that could potentially grow into serious, but it's just a spark. So, and that's why actually after being at first not understanding this idea about like dating for such a long time and then go into a relationship, right now I really understand that, because like when you date for that long amount of time, you can actually see each other
the good sides and the bad sides from each other. Not only the first couple weeks when you show your best side of you.
And you understand like, am I ready to like cope and go with the bad sides as well? So this is super important.
True. Yeah, I fully agree. And me, I think before marriage you should first, that's my opinion, live together. Because then once you live together, then you see
a different experience.
Yeah, because I know, like, why are your socks on the ground? Or this kind of stuff come up, right? So because then you're like all the time together, and otherwise maybe you see each other twice a week, and like you show your best part. If you wake up grumpy, then that's a whole different, more of like level of relationship. When you wake up in the morning grumpy and you're like, I don't want to, and then still be good to each other. That's or traveling, going holiday is also a good test if you want to test your relationship.
I love it. Okay, so what are your red flags in the girlfriend?
Red flags for a girlfriend. I mean, for me, if she is like looking for just a rich guy. that's I would say. I mean, of course, I can understand a woman wants a man that can provide.
But it shouldn't be like the first priority, like the reason why she's going for
like if she's after like your money or my money, like that, I feel that's for me a huge red flag. Or that she cannot appreciate small things that only can be I mean, I like fancy stuff, right? I like to, but if she likes, oh, I only want to go to Michelin star restaurant, I only want Gucci shoes, and like doesn't want to go to this local Chinese restaurant because that's dirty or, so that would be for me a red flag. And also someone that is very obsessive claiming.
Yes, that's annoying, right?
Yeah, that's another one. For me, I mean, there's also cultural difference, right? I dated with some girls that, like, Latin America, they have different culture, and they do things together. And Dutch, it's a bit more individualistic lifestyle. Okay, to not always spend 24/7 time together and go out with your friends and have some drinks, and then she goes out with her friends and have drinks. It's not always be together. So if a girl finds it difficult, for example, if I have female friends, that's also complicated.
Okay.
Yeah. And you?
Oh, okay. So red flag number 1 is 50-50 on the first date.
Oh yeah.
No, 50-50.
Yeah, guys. Okay, listen. Come on, just spend that 20 euros, 40 euros.
Yeah,
don't be that cheap, especially for Dutch guys. Or Spanish, like, don't be cheap, right? Just pay, even if you don't like the girl, just pay for the first date.
Just for respect.
Just for your own self esteem and respect, you know? That they cannot say, such a cheap guy, like he
that's
like,
all your reputation, okay?
Yeah, it's your
reputation.
It's your reputation, right? So, yeah, take notes.
So that's the first one. Number 2 is, I would say, being very restrictive. In terms of, like...
Yeah, you cannot do this, you cannot do that.
You cannot do this, you cannot do that.
Yeah, kind of what I mentioned, similar.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, like, restricting in friends and opportunity to have friends or, like, connections with the opposite gender as well.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, what was popping up in Ukraine, I still see, like, friends who, like, are in Ukrainian couples, they would not rather like to spend time with the opposite gender.
Yeah, have a podcast together.
So have a podcast together, yeah. So this kind of
like,
thing.
what did you do after the podcast, huh?
What did you do before the podcast?
Yeah.
This kind of things. Like, I would say, like, really, because, like, it's based of trust for me. And the last one, I would also, like, and that thing just come for me after, like, some experience. I would say, like, being able, if you're already in relationships, right, if you're building something together, is not saying the future together. Here I don't talk about, like, marriage, kids, like, family or whatever, but, like, at least, like, you have to have intention on continuing those relationships and building them furthermore, like, traveling together, kind of like seeing how it's gonna move forward. And if you don't have that, like, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah, so dating with intention for the future. And also needs to be compatible. For me, that's also what I look for, is someone compatible with my lifestyle. Right?
100%.
Because even if this girl is really nice, but she doesn't like traveling, for me, then, like, even if she would be for everything perfect.
9 to 5, right?
9 to 5 is also, it will be okay. But if because she can get holidays, right? But let's say she would be perfect with everything else, but she doesn't want to travel, then we're not compatible. Because I want to travel and I want to experience, like, I don't want to travel all the time by myself. I want to go with my partner. But if she only wants to go once a year to, I don't know, drive to Spain, whatever, then we're not compatible.
100%.
Yeah.
And what about Catalan? I think that
I don't have much experience, actually.
You never did Catalan?
No, can't remember, at least. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like with local, at least not that is one I can remember.
Oh, that's interesting. You weren't curious?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So I think what was also very interesting for me moving to Barcelona is actually start having a lot of friends of the opposite gender, because again, back in Ukraine, you have the male and female who are single talking with each other, like, just spending some time together, like being in a networking event. There is already like idea of something potentially happening between there.
Yeah.
And here in Barcelona, I actually learned to have a good friendship with males and found a lot of nice male friends as well. So I'm just curious, what is your opinion about the friendship between males and females? Do you believe it's possible?
I think it's possible. However, it sometimes can be challenging and difficult. For me, especially if how more beautiful the girl is, like
You're more beautiful than the girl?
no, I say how more beautiful
How more beautiful than the girl?
yeah, like how more attractive she is, like how more difficult I think in general it is to have friendships, because you have this like attraction, but you can have initially this attraction, like, but afterwards you can evolve this into a real friendship. So you I think it's possible to pass this stage of like, oh, you feel this chemistry and this you feel super attracted to that person, but then you're like, hey, maybe on other things we're not a match, but we really like to hang out with each other and we can still be friends.
Totally. I think for me it's also saying like what is the priority for you. Like you can try like having the relationship together, but then like it's more difficult to build, and then like after having the relationship it's really hard like to become, you know, like good friends again, and then you see like, okay, maybe for us it's more prior till it should become a friendship. And then the boundaries, like boundaries super important, like knowing what's okay, what's not okay as well for you. So I think that's a key. Totally.
Yeah, but I've quite some female friends, and they're a lot of them are like generally friends, you know. Like with some of them I'd never had this like any sexual contact, or like that I was like, oh, I want to do like have a date something, you know. So I think it's possible, but it's not easy. It's not always easy.
It's not always easy, and especially when we talk about like good friendship, meaning that you like text, you like spend like some time together as well, not just like seeing each other like on some events and like, from time to time. So that's a big one as well.
And
but
you?
I do believe like totally, and I think also it's all about the phases, like coming through the phases. And I think that the good friendship I built up with my male friends, was quite difficult to build up as well. But no, you're cutting this moment. Okay, ask me again, what do you think? Okay, go on.
What do you think? Okay, let me.
Go laughing.
Okay. So, and how about you? What do you think?
I think that's also possible, and it's just all about like, it's about boundaries. I think that's really about the boundaries, and like setting the time, setting the activities that are okay for the friendship, and like maybe removing the ones that are not. Still, let's say I could not do like everything with a male friend as I would do with a female friend, right?
Yeah.
But
No,
I
you
think
cannot like shower.
I
Go to the toilet together.
I don't shower with my female friends as well. Do you shower with your male friends?
No, but I mean, you see girls like walking in the shower, like they're in the same bathroom together doing stuff. You know?
I didn't do that.
I mean, that happens.
I think
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would say this thing, and also like for me, it's like learning to see person not like as a certain gender, but just as a person, right?
Yeah.
Like because I think like all the attraction, it just like comes from what like society tells to us. Like if you're male and you're female and you are like all attractive and you're all single, it's like the space for something more. But really seeing the person, and also Barcelona taught me like to love people like in so many different ways, like as a friend, as a mentor, like, you know. So I would say those things.
But I think for women, they have to set more the boundaries. Because I think, for men, they can easily overgo those boundaries.
But
Men have easier like this. I'm just generalizing, right? Like this second that they're like second incentive.
Yeah. And also, I see like...
Also, with your work, you could probably experience it.
Yeah, that's actually true. Like, saying a lot at the moment of man being interesting, like, to, like, talk and work with me, like, and having some, like, side thought as well.
Yeah.
So, that's sometimes, like, really, again, like, communicating, like, also using a bit, you know, because honestly... Honestly, this fact could give you a lot of it's like a benefit, but also like a curse,
Yeah.
So it's like all about how you put the intention, how you keep those boundaries, and like you are the one responsible. But in a friendship, it's like a mutual thing. You both are responsible for setting the boundaries, and
True.
you both are responsible for like seeing how it's gonna work with you two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we are almost
Yeah,
running out.
you had like a special
I had a special
surprise
activity
Okay.
surprise activity for you. Okay, so we discussed a bunch of different
Yeah.
topics, and I think we're gonna finish with a little quiz like this or that. I'm
Okay.
gonna be giving you two options,
Okay.
and you need to choose the one, and then maybe explain a bit why.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know nothing about this, right? So
Yeah, that's not prepared.
yeah, not scripted.
Okay, the first one: living in Barcelona forever, or traveling the world without having a permanent home.
Wow, difficult
They're
question.
all like this.
And if I live in Barcelona forever, I cannot travel.
No, you could travel, but your home is in Barcelona, and most of your life you spent in Barcelona.
And otherwise, otherwise I can travel the world and have no permanent home.
Yeah.
I would stick because I want to have like at least one permanent place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would stick with, and I think Barcelona is a great place to have a home.
Okay.
So I would stick
Barcelona.
there because I could still travel.
A bit of the kind of real estate question, let's say. So, having a house in El Raval or having a house in La Molina?
El Raval. Yeah, because you're in the city center at least.
At least
Yeah.
you could
Both
be
are in a
killed.
shithole, but
Yeah, you
Oh,
could
sorry,
be killed
no offense for
everywhere,
people.
but at least.
at least you're in the center, so you're
Okay.
close to everything. Yeah, you can go to the good side.
Then about sharing the apartment, and also what was very new for me, back from Ukraine, because in Ukraine we never share apartment, like
Yeah.
people live all separately. But here, as the rent is crazy expensive, people share and live together. So sharing an apartment with someone who always bring people over, or sharing an apartment with someone who smoke weed every day.
Bring people.
Bring people over.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because-
it's a bit annoying, like when like almost every day you have like someone.
If you also do the same, no.
Okay, that's not a question.
No, but weed. I mean, for me, I quit smoking weed. Or like I don't know if you can say this word on YouTube. Maybe I have to-
We will.
Yeah. So
Hannah, please
yeah.
blur this word.
So I quit smoking, and for me, I think if you smoke every day, it's kind of like you have this stoner lifestyle, and I don't want to be. And first of all, it smells very bad. I mean, it's okay, but if someone brings all the time this weed smell to your house and that stoner lifestyle, no, like that's not what I want to be.
Okay. So another one again about Barcelona. So permanent August in Barcelona, it's always August, right? I mean the weather like in August,
Yeah.
or it's always like December.
Always August.
Always August.
Yeah.
Aren't you dying here? Like it's
I like
crazy.
I like hot weather,
Oh my god.
and you just put AC in your house, you're good.
I'm always like escaping Barcelona. I'm living to
If
Barcelona
I-
in August.
The reason always December, then I could stay in Amsterdam, no?
Okay.
You know?
Yes, that's true.
No, it's not that bad, but
All right. I know you don't speak Spanish, but let's assume you do.
I speak.
A bit.
I speak Spanish.
Okay, you speak Spanish. So speaking only Chinese or speaking only Spanish?
Speaking only Chinese.
Why?
I don't know.
There's more countries with people who speak Spanish now.
True. Maybe I would say only Spanish, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I would stay in Spain for the rest of my life, then only Spanish would be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And then the last one. Okay. Dating only Spanish or dating only Dutch?
Wow. Such a difficult question. Maybe only Spanish. Then.
Only Spanish. Why no Dutch?
I mean, there are not many Dutch girls here.
Okay.
So, yeah, then my pool is way less big, right?
Okay, that's smart.
So, I also like Dutch girls, yeah. Although it's been a while, yeah. That was it. That was the end.
That was it. That was the questions.
I like that part. I think we finished with the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Please follow Lesia at her Instagram and
Follow Basmash.
Smash. If you like this kind of podcast, just let us know in the comments. and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
See you.
And thank you, Lesia.